Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SauceMadePeopleSexy.net Let's Play Apple Tarot competition. We're now in week number 7, and the word this week is saintly, but Zalaz went ahead and flipped it upside down again, so now it means the opposite of saintly, which can mean virtuous, or divine, or even angelic. But in this case, of course, we want the opposite of that. And I'm taking a bit of a chance this week, because it's not so much the game that best represents this theme, in my opinion, as the character. You can see him chasing around this pirate ship duck all across the screen. He is, of course, Wario, and he is the star of our game this week, Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, released for the Game Boy in 1993, or if you live in Europe like I do, 1994. Now, I could have picked any of the games that Wario was the star of for this week, but I chose the original, Super Mario Land 3, because this is the game that I owned growing up, and also, this was the most successful of all of Wario's main titles. This sold 5 million copies plus worldwide, which for a game that came out in 1993 for the Game Boy is not too shabby, I think you'll agree with me. And to better stick with the theme this week, I'm going to take us through the world's Stove Canyon. Because it's the fire theme world, and with a little bit of imagination, you can see it as Wario travelling through hell to get treasures, therefore fitting the undivine theme we've got going this week. So let's talk a little bit about Wario then. He, of course, was the main villain and final boss of Super Mario Land 2, the game that preceded this. And at the end of that game, Mario defeats him in a fight and kicks him out of the castle. Wario then decides to get revenge, but rather than get it on Mario directly, he comes up with a rather clever little scheme to get even. A giant gold statue of Princess Peach has been stolen by the fearsome brown sugar pirates, and Wario decides to go after the pirates to get the statue back, and he can ransom it in return for his own castle. He can also collect all the various coins and treasures that the pirates have collected throughout their escapades. And that is the basic plot of Mario Land 3, Super Mario Land 3. Now we've collected a key, speaking of treasure here, and we have to escape this advancing wall of lava. If that hits you, by the way, that's instant death. That's kind of why I skipped some of the coins and treasures. Maybe I shouldn't do that because, you know, Wario is a treasure hunter and that doesn't really fit the theme of being unvirtuous. But I just wanted to make sure I survived. Anyway, you take this key all the way to the skull door, go through it, and then you can shoulder barge this treasure chest with the B button to collect a treasure. In this case, it's a black pearl. Not to be confused with the pirate ship from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. As you can see, I actually started a new save file for this. You saw at the beginning of the video, I actually have a fully completed save file, although for some reason it says 39 levels instead of 40. There are 40 levels in total, which doesn't seem that much, but you have to remember, it's a portable title. They couldn't fit that much on here. Also, praise be the hitboxes. God damn, that was close. What happened now is I'm wearing the bull helmet. And the bull helmet allows you to stun nearby enemies by, if you press down as you land from a jump, you'll stun enemies around you. And because of that, it cancelled out that guy's spiked mine, and I didn't get hit. And now we're playing a bonus game. You've got one of 2 bonus games that you can play after you complete a stage in Wario Land. We're playing the coin bucket game, and we're not being very lucky. We've just lost a lot of our coins there by getting the 10-turn wait, and I thought, Gambler's Fallacy be damned, it can't be in the right one 3 times in a row. And it turns out I was right. I still lost money, but I didn't lose quite as much money. Gambler's Fallacy is a real thing, by the way. It's where you gamble on something. It's like, oh, well, this option came up twice, so it can't be this a 3rd time. No, that's Gambler's Fallacy, and Gambler's Fallacy is a wonderful way to lose money. Just take it from me, from my own personal experience. You don't want to get sucked into Gambler's Fallacy. It's not a good idea. So this game holds a rather unique distinction of being both a spin-off title and also a direct sequel to Super Mario Land 2, hence why it's called both Wario Land and Super Mario Land 3. And the marketing for this game, looking at it, is fascinating. Because back in the 80s and early 90s, there was very much a focus on playing as virtuous characters like Link and Mario and Sonic. Goody two-shoes whose only thought was for others and to save people and to save the world. Wario couldn't give a damn about saving the world. Wario only cares about one person, and that's Wario. So he's greedy, he's ugly, he's about as unvirtuous and unsaint-like as you can possibly be. I don't think none of those words actually exist or not, but what the hell, they exist now. Also, that's supposed to be a bat, but the sprite was nothing like a bat. And this is a midway point, which I'll just show off here. If you hold the up direction and press B, you will produce what's called a 10 gold coin. But only if you have 10 coins that you've collected up to that point. Now these have a couple of functions. You can use them to open up those midway points. And the nice thing about those midway points is, even if you turn off the console after you die, it's still come back to it. It's saved in the console's battery back memory. You also use them to open up the various exits of the levels, except in that level where the lava was chasing us, because they very kindly decided you didn't actually need a coin to open it. And also the boss levels have no door, because once you defeat the boss, you just automatically exit the stage. And yeah, the marketing for this game was, they deliberately said, you know, you be the bad guy, which at the time was rather unique. I mean, now we're no stranger to playing as, let's say, morally dubious characters in video games, but at the time, this was kind of a revelation. And also the fact that the game is very much themed around greed, which the family-like Nintendo had never created a game around that theme before. So again, he steals a lot of money. And again, it's even ambiguous as to whether or not he's the bad guy or the Brown Sugar Pirates are the bad guy in this. Another bonus game here is not for money, but you spend money in order to collect hearts and extra lives. Again, to distinguish it from the Super Mario Land franchise, you don't quite play like Mario does in those games. Your coins don't actually collect extra lives, they're just used as currency to get into these bonus games, and also to collect enough treasure to get the best ending for the game. What you do to collect extra lives is every time you kill an enemy, you will get points, heart points. You can also collect hearts out of blocks to get 10 points, and if you collect power-ups, you'll also get 10 points as well. Get 100 points, and you will get an extra life. And here, we're throwing bombs at these little innocent guys, which are actually called Wandering Gooms, which I think is to kind of make them a sort of off-world counterpart to the Goombas from the Mario franchise. Also, I love their little faces. And to get ejected out of the screen, we're getting blown the hell up. We hit 4 of them, so we only get 70 hearts, but that was enough to get an extra life. This game's not too difficult, but it sure is fun. It really is fun. It controls like a dream, I have to say. Well, actually, no. There's 1 or 2 moments where the controls are a bit of a letdown, but you can't tell really whether that's you, the player, making a mistake, or whether the game has been unfair to you. Wario also has 3 separate power-ups that he can get. Oh, this is my favourite enemy in the game, by the way. This is the DD, which stands for Dangerous Duck. It's a pirate-themed duck holding a boomerang, wearing a bandana, and throwing boomerangs. And I think Nintendo liked this guy too, because they actually brought him back for the sequel, Wario Land 2. He was one of only a couple of enemies that they brought back. They also brought back these spear-wielding Gooms, which were known as Pirate Gooms in this game, but became renamed to the Spearmen in Wario Land 2 and beyond. And we got hit there, and now Wario is sporting a radical mohawk. But this is a problem, because if we take another hit, we're going to die and drop all the money we've collected, and basically we'll be poor. And that doesn't fit Wario's greedy personality one bit, although he does look cool, as I think, as a small person. The other power-ups, we've got the Bull Helmet, which gives you super strength, you break blocks in 1 hit, and your Shoulder Charge, which is your main method of attack in this game, again, to really differentiate it from the Mario series, where you jump on enemies and you kill them. Here you just jump on enemies and you stun them, even though Wario is a lot heavier than Mario. I really appreciate the effort Nintendo went to differentiate this series from Mario's core franchise. It really gives it its own identity and feel, and I think that's the main reason why this series ran and ran. And it really did. It spawned 3 titles on the Game Boy, another title on the Game Boy Advance, plus Wario Land Shake It, known as Wario in the Shake Dimension in Europe. I don't know why they changed that title. I don't see why Shake It was particularly offensive. Maybe they just changed it. Sometimes they don't change things because they're offensive. They just have a better idea, I guess. And here's another power-up. This is the Jet Helmet. I absolutely freaking love the Jet Helmet. You can do some ridiculous things with the Jet Helmet. Quite frankly, it is the speedrunner's weapon of choice when speeding through this game. Now, in this stage, it's not really set up to let you show off the powers of the Jet Helmet, but don't worry, the Jet Helmet will get its due focus in a few minutes' time, shall we say. It allows you to body slam in mid-air, which is really powerful, and it goes on a really long time as well. You also jump you jump higher and run faster. And the other helmet that we collected but didn't really do a whole lot with is the Dragon Hat, which if you press B, you'll expel a column of flame which can kill enemies and hit blocks, and it's useful, but I do prefer the versatility of the Jet Helmet. One thing I do like about the power-ups in this game, and this might just be me making it up, but it's always been my take on it, it's almost like with Wario being Mario's rival, he's trying to one-up him in every single stake, including his power-ups. So it's almost like he's saying to Mario, oh, you collected a mushroom, Mario? You're big now? Well, I've picked up a helmet and I've got the strength of a bull. Oh, you can shoot fireballs? I've got a freaking dragon on my head. That sounded like I was quoting Kim Woo from Killer Instinct. She's, you know how this goes, right? I've got a freaking dragon. But I wasn't actually quoting Kim Woo, trust me. And then the jet helmet's like, oh, you've got a cape and you can fly now, Mario. Well, too bad, I've got a jet engine on my head. I win yet again. And these blocks actually come into play in the final couple of worlds of the game. The final level of the game, it's set in Syrup Castle. The first part of it just has you jumping on these blocks to collect a ton of coins. It's really kind of strange. And some of the level layouts in this game are kind of strange, but don't mistake strange and unusual for bad. Because I will always hold this game up as one of the pinnacles of platforming on the Game Boy, or indeed any other platform. Even coming back to this game after years and years, I picked it up straight away again. Oh, you can also stick in the ceiling, although you can't actually see the ceiling I was sticking into, by holding up when you have the bull horns on. That's another neat little trick you can do. Yeah, I would hold this up against any major platformer of the 90s. I am that convinced that Wario Land is an absolute classic. Anyway, we exit the stage, and that will take us to the boss. However, we have a bit of unfinished business. You might have noticed there was a circle on the map screen when we went into the stage. And that's because that indicates that there's actually a secret exit. So if you just give me a second here, once the path opens up to the boss, it represents a big freaky looking skull, we're going to take a cut right here to go back to that stage, stage 23, and show you the alternative route, and also show off the powers of the jet helmet. Look at this! Look at this game-breaking nonsense! I'm not a speedrunner, but if I was, this is the game I'd choose, and I would just speedrun by getting the jet helmet as soon as possible and using it to absolutely blitz through the levels. You can even use it underwater to break blocks that you can't break with anything else other than the dragon helmet, so it really is the most overpowered power-up in the entire game, and you know what? I'm not complaining, I bloody love it. Anyway, here's your secret exit. You go under this platform as the minecart falls into the lava, jump on this block, and this will take you to a secondary exit goal, which you own another 10 coin, and that will take you to a secret level. This game, again, is packed with little secret areas that I absolutely love about platformers. I mean, some platformers, yeah, if it's just to get from A to B, that's fair enough. I mean, that doesn't really take away from the game. But I always love it when game designers go the extra mile, and they try and cram as many little extra things in there for attentive or just plain skilled players to find. I really think it's just like a labour of love. It comes across as a labour of love to me like that. I'm perhaps not expressing myself in the best possible way. Was going to grab that garlic till I was like maybe Bull Warrior again, decided not to. Now, speaking of strange stage layouts, this is the absolute epitome of strange stage layouts, because the exit's right there. You can just jump over there and go straight to the exit, but of course you need 10 coins to do that. Now, normally, you would just go through these doors and you would collect money and then you would exit the stage. However, you saw that skull door, there's a treasure to be found, and goddammit, Wario's greedy enough to go and get the damn thing. Honestly, Wario's personality reminds me of that Dutch guy from the Austin Powers movie Goldmember. Except, of course, I'm fairly certain that Wario's Winky is not a key. Just saying. That was hilariously out of place, and I apologise for it. Anyway, once you've got the key, you don't have to waste any more time. I do, by the way, realise that I could have saved myself even more time by just jetting straight over the lava pits, past the door and into that switch, but hey. Several stages use those switches to change around the layout. Another thing I like about this game, I can't really show it in Stove Canyon, unfortunately, because I decided to sacrifice some features of the game in order to better represent the theme. Certain levels, when you complete them in certain ways, will actually make changes to the map screen. Also, we have the Cup of Life! You chose wisely! Yeah, certain levels, when you complete them, will actually make changes happen on the world map. And it's really neat because the changes actually affect the levels. So when you beat the first World Rice Beach, certain parts of the world will actually flood, and you'll actually be able to get to areas that you couldn't reach before in stages 1 and 3. But stages 2, 4 and 5 are unaffected because they, on the map screen, are too high up the beach to be affected by the tide. And that's really neat. In the second World Mount Teapot, you hit a switch which makes the top of the Teapot mountain slam down, and then you can access the boss level, which was a previously innocuous level, which had a rather strange bit where you drop down, and now you're like, oh, I know why I dropped down now, that's where the boss is. Just little touches like that is really good game design. And this was one of many Game Boy titles produced by the late I'm terrible at pronouncing Japanese names, the late Gunpei Yokoi, who was the inventor of both the Game Boy and the Virtual Boy, and was the producer on this title and quite a few others. And we really owe a huge amount to him, even in this day and age. Even to this day, we owe Gunpei Yokoi a huge amount of credit for the way video games have turned out. Now, the thing about the Brown Sugar Pirates is they were actually renamed in the sequel. In Wario Land 2, possibly to avoid conflict with a track by the Rolling Stones, they were renamed to the Black Sugar Gang. And also these Goon Pirates, Pirate Goons, are renamed to the Spearmen. The DDs, my favourite enemy, they still kept their names, thank goodness. And Captain Syrup is still named Captain Syrup. Although the manual actually says it's a guy. And it's not a guy. You can quite clearly see in her sprite in the final level of the game, it's a woman. It's a woman riding on a genie's shoulders, but it is a woman. So it's kind of strange that they called it a guy. I'm just going to say that was just a bad translation on the instruction manual's part, not intentional misgendering or anything horrible like that. Also, I don't have to kill these enemies, but damn it, I'm going to, because I'm Wario, and Wario is a bully. He's a greedy, unvirtuous, unsaintly gasbag, and I'm going to get every last coin out of these little innocent, harmless enemies. Well, not that harmless, they're carrying spears, as much as I possibly can. And we're going to end off with a boss fight! It's a big, ugly head! Yes, the final boss of the lava area is, for some reason, a big, ugly head with the Brown Sugar Pirate Gang logo tattooed on his forehead, who shoots flaming rocks out of his nostril, and also tries to break the floor with his tongue. You have a time limit in the levels anyway, but there is a definite time limit to fighting this boss, because if you don't kill him before too long... Also, that was a cheap shot game, and you know it! I had no chance to get out of the way there. If you don't kill him before he breaks all the floor, you'll have nowhere to go, you'll fall in the lava, and you'll instantly die. Fortunately, I took out the big ugly head before we had a chance to do much of anything. Every time you kill a boss, coins rain down from the heavens, and you want to collect them. And this makes me very, very sad. Come on, game. They were still on the screen, I could have easily collected them. Also, you cannot finish a level of Small Wario, you automatically teleport back to being regular-sized Wario, which is neat. And you cannot actually re-enter any of the boss fight levels other than the Penguin King in Sherbet Land, and you can also fight the Genie, the final boss of the game, over and over again. But that guy, the Spike Cooper in World 1, the Bull God in World 2, the Giant Ghost in World 6, and the Bobo the Bird in this teacup, can't find them again. So I think we'll end off here because I'm just about to reach the end of my time limit. So that is Wario Land Super Mario Land 3, and join us next time for whatever theme we have for Week 8. Until then, bye for now.